Hello and welcome to 5 Minute Friday. I'm Ben Branham with Modern Self-Protection, and this is a quick tip to help you stay safe in our world. Today is going to be a little bit different of a tip and a safety. We are going to talk about MOA, minute of angle, and what all that means. And we all need a refresher about that every once in a while because it gets really confusing really fast. So real quick, let's talk about a couple terms. MOA, minute of angle. Not really. It stands for minute of arc. Everybody says minute of angle, but it's really an arc. And it's devised by, it's 1/60th of a degree, which means there's 21,600 minutes of arc in a complete 360-degree circle. But ironically, it's one of those things of math that just works out that it's about 1 inches at 100 yards. But it's really 1.047 inches at 100 yards. Close enough, right? If you go out to 1,000 yards, then it's, 10.47. And it goes up every time by increments of 1. So at 100 yards, it's about an inch. At 200 yards, it's about 2 inches. At 300 yards, it's about 3 inches, and so on. And 1,000 yards, it's about 10 inches. And people really want to put that 1.047 in there. But you know what? Can you see 0.047 of an inch? And at 1,000 yards on a rifle, do you really think you can see that half an inch that the drop is off? So it doesn't really matter. I mean, it's not even a full inch at 1,500 yards. At 2,000, it's an inch off. 1 inch. Yeah. Let's talk about numbers that matter. Not that one. And, well, really, we need to talk about terms. So now that you know what an MOA actually is, now we can talk about the bits and pieces and the adjustments. And, most rifles have half MOA or quarter MOA little dots. So that means it moves it a quarter inch at 100 yards. If it's a quarter MOA, a half an inch at 200 yards, 3/4 at 300 yards, and 1 full inch at 400 yards is a quarter click. So you can see how the math works there really easy if you just see that pattern. And that's what you got to do, is be able to see those patterns. But what we really hear it is in all over the industry, right? You hear MOA thrown everywhere. And it really gets complicated when people want to talk MOA versus mils. And we're not going to get into the mils. We're going to sit strict MOA here. So when somebody advertises all over the place that rifles shoot sub MOA, well, generally that means a 3-round group came in with less than an inch at 100 yards. And they will add that 1.047, that 0.047, they will add that in so that they can make that claim. And generally it's a 3-round group that is fired under perfect conditions to make sure that that rifle does that. And honestly, nowadays, most of the rifles should do that. And by the way, that's center to center measurement too. So not when we think group size, you think they'll be covered in a quarter or a dime, right? Not so. When we really talk the professional ways to do it, they do it from the center of the bullet hole to the center of the bullet hole. So that group can open up substantially that way, right? It looks bigger than it is. So then when they talk MOA, that's what we're talking about when the rifle will shoot sub MOA. The problem is, how far out will it shoot that sub MOA? I don't know. And neither do they. When it starts pushing past 200, 300, 400, 500 meters, you got a lot more things in their variable work than besides what the rifle will do. Wind, the shooter, trigger, variation in ammo, all of that stuff starts to add in really quick. So nobody knows. And unless you go out there and shoot it, if you can say, I shot this rifle at 500 yards and I got less than a 5-inch group because I got a 4.89 inch group, then you can say your rifle shoots sub-minute of angle with this ammo on this day with this rifle. And then a lot of the big boys, they want to test 10-round groups, not 3-round groups. So you can see how that would change a lot, right? For me, I shoot 5-round groups if I'm going to test a rifle, and then I will take the best 3 out of there because I try to take the human error factor out because I'm not that great of a shooter off the bench. So, yeah, when you hear the rifle shoots sub MOA, you want to know at what distance, at what time, with which rifle, with what ammo, with what shooter, and how did that work. We're very loose and fast with that whole it shoots 10 MOA. And I really think rifles today with good ammo should be able to shoot 1 MOA. If they're not, you probably want to take a different rifle with a different manufacturer. So this is not an end-all be-all. This was just a quick 5 minutes on what a minute of arc or MOA actually is, so that you can impress your friends with knowledge, so that you can remind yourself of what all this stuff means, and we can keep it in perspective when some people start talking about how great their rifle is and stuff. Thank you for listening. I'm Ben Branham with Modern Self Protection. If you want more great stuff like this, go to modernselfprotection.com.